Everything created, whether small or big, has its specific importance. Usually, we underestimate talented people, but they prove themselves by their wits and right actions. We should never look down upon other. Moreover, right and timely actions are always beneficial. In other words, a stitch in time saves nine, which is also the nucleus of the poem that we are going to read. Hello, everyone. We are going to discuss The Tale of Custard the Dragon, written by Ogden Nash. Let's know about our poet Ogden Nash, who was born in 1902 and he died in 1971. He was born in Rye, New York, to Edmund Strudwick and Mattie Chenault Nash. He was the most widely known, appreciated, and imitated American creator of light verse, a reputation that has continued after his death. He was raised in Savannah, Georgia, and several other East Coast cities, as his father's import export business necessitated that the Nashes make frequent moves. He dropped out of his secondary education to earn a living. He tried several jobs before he could pursue poetry full time. He tried teaching, selling bonds in Wall Street, writing streetcar advertising, and then worked with poetry full time. With the publication of his first collection, Hard Lines, in 1931, he began a 40-year career during which he produced 20 volumes of verse with such titles as The Bad Parents, Garden of Verse, I Am a Stranger Here Myself, and Everyone But Thee and Me. Making his home in Baltimore, he also did considerable lecturing on tours throughout the United States. He wrote the lyrics for the musicals One Touch of Venus and Two's Company, as well as several children's books. With his unconventional rhyming schemes, he was declared the country's best known producer of humorous poetry. This poem is written in the style of a ballad, a song or a poem that tells a story. They usually narrate tales of courage or heroism. This poem is a humorous ballad, close to a parody. Ballads have strong associations with childhood. Much children's poetry comes in the form of a ballad, and English poets traditionally associated ballads with their national childhood as well. Ballads emphasize strong rhythms, repetition of key phrases, and rhymes. If you hear a traditional ballad, you will know that you are hearing a poem. Ballads are meant to be song like and to remind readers of oral poetry, of parents singing to children, for instance, or of ancient poets reciting their verse to a live audience. While we are reading this poem, please pay close attention to the rhythm and the rhyme scheme of the poem. This is a poem about a little girl, Belinda, who owns many pets, namely a black kitten, Ink, grey mouse, Blink, yellow dog, Mustard, and a coward dragon named Custard. The poet has described every character to be brave except the dragon, who is said to be a coward. But the whole situation changes when a pirate attacked Belinda's house. They were surprised by this pirate. All of them gets frightened and start hiding here and there. But to everyone's surprise, the dragon not only tackles him but also eats him up. As all of them are saved by Custard, they thank him. But at the end, they realize that they used to make fun of the dragon because of his being timid. So all of them suddenly start saying that they are more brave and could have handled the situation in a much better way. Here, the poet has tried to say that sometimes a timid person is the actual hero in the toughest situations of life. Now, let us go through the poem The Tale of Custard the Dragon, stanzas 1, 2, and 3. Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse, and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon, and a really truly little pet dragon. Now the name of the little black kitten was Ink, and the little grey mouse her name was Blink, and the little yellow dog was sharp as mustard, but the dragon was a coward, and she called him Custard. Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth, and spikes on top of him, and scales underneath, mouth like a fireplace, chimney for a nose, and really truly daggers on his nose. So the first stanza means that there was this little girl, Belinda, who lived in a white house with her pets. They were the black kitten, a grey mouse, a yellow dog, and a creature that the poet says was really and truly a dragon. And she also had a little red wagon. In the second stanza, we come to know the names of these animals who were tamed by Belinda. The black kitten's name is Ink, the name of the grey mouse is Blink, the little yellow dog had yellow color, and so Belinda calls him Mustard, and the dragon was a coward, that means he was a weakling and was called Custard. Custard, a sweet dish, a very common sweet dish. In the third stanza, we come to know about the features of Custard. That Custard is a big dragon. He has big, sharp teeth and spikes on top. Its skin was pointed on the top. On the lower part, it had scales which were bony plates to protect the skin. His mouth has been compared to a fireplace because it is assumed that dragons can release fire from their mouth. Even his nose is compared to a chimney which is used to pass out smoke, and his feet are like sharp knife, that is, a dagger. Now the stanzas 4, 5, and 6. Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of beers, and Ink and Blink chased lions down the stairs. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard cried for a nice safe cage. Belinda tickled him, she tickled him unmerciful. Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon at the realio, trulio, cowardly dragon. Belinda giggled till she shook the house, and Blink said weak, which is giggling for a mouse. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age, when Custard cried for a nice safe cage. In the stanza number 4, we are told that Belinda, Ink and Blink and Mustard were all brave, even though they were much smaller in size than Custard. But Custard was so coward that he always wanted to hide in a cage to be safe. In stanza number 5, Belinda and all the pets make fun of the cowardly Custard. Belinda tickles him, Blink and Mustard mocks Custard and called him the brave knight Percival. Blink and Mustard ironically compared Custard with the brave knight Percival, who had been in the service of King Arthur, to show him how, unlike Percival, he really was. In stanza number 6, when Custard wanted to be put in a cage because of fear, Belinda and Blink laughed so much at him. Ink and Mustard asked him what his age is because, like a child, he was scared of every little thing. Stanzas 7, 8, and 9. Suddenly, they heard a nasty sound, and Mustard growled, and they all looked around. Mute, cried Ink, and ooh, cried Belinda, for there was a pirate climbing in the window. Pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right, and he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. His beard was black, one leg was wood. It was clear that the pirate meant no good. Belinda paled, and she cried, help, help, but Mustard fled with a terrified yelp. Ink trickled down at the bottom of the household, and little mouse Blink strategically mousehold. So here, in stanza number 7, we come to know that Belinda and her pets heard an unpleasant sound and were scared. Mustard started growling. Ink and Belinda cried out in fear, and finally they saw that a pirate, a dangerous looking pirate, was climbing into their house through a window. In stanza number 8, we find that this pirate had one pistol in his left hand and one pistol in his right hand, and a cutlass between his teeth. A cutlass means a knife. He also heard he also had a beard and a wooden leg. It was clear that the pirate was very, very dangerous. Here it is, and he has frightened all the characters because he did intend to cause them harm. In the stanza number 9, we hear that Belinda becomes pale with fear. She starts crying for help. Help! Help! Mustard the dog runs away in fear. Ink trickles down in the basement in the house, and Blink the mouse strategically goes into his mouse hole. Stanzas 10, 11, and 12. But up jumped Custard, snorting like an engine, clashed his tail like irons in a dungeon. With a clatter and a clank and a jangling squirm, he went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. The pirate gaped at Belinda's dragon and gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. He fired 2 bullets, but that didn't hit, and Custard gobbled him every bit. Belinda embraced him, Mustard licked him. No one mourned for his pirate victim. Ink and Blink in glee did gyrate around the dragon that ate the pirate. In stanza number 10, we are told that Custard surprised everyone with his actions. He jumped up and started snorting like an engine in anger. Then Custard beat his tail against the floor that made the sound like metal chains in a dungeon, which is a prison, being clashed against one another. Finally, he ran towards the pirate and attacked him in the same way that a robin bird pounces on a worm that is his prey. In stanza number 11, we see that the pirate reacted to Custard. He stared at Custard the dragon helplessly and drank alcohol from his flagon. Flagon is a small container in which you can carry your alcohol. He fired 2 bullets at Custard with his pistol but missed. Finally, Custard ate him up in one big bite. In stanza number 12, Belinda comes and hugs Custard, and Mustard the dog licks him up. So both Belinda and Mustard are appreciating Custard. Nobody was sad for the pirate who had been eaten and was now dead. Ink and Blink came out, and in happiness they were dancing around Custard the dragon. Why? Because he saved them all. But presently up spoke little dog Mustard. I had been twice as brave if I hadn't been flustered. And up spoke Ink and up spoke Blink. We would have been 3 times as brave, we think. And Custard said, I quite agree that everybody is braver than me. Belinda still lives in her little white house with a little black kitten and her little grey mouse, and a little yellow dog and her little red wagon, and a realio trulio little pet dragon. Belinda is as brave as a barrel full of beers, and Ink and Blink chase lions down the stairs. Mustard is as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard keeps crying for a nice safe cage. Here in this stanza, after the pets and Belinda thanked and showed their love towards the dragon, the pets, they changed their mind. They were reminded of how they used to make fun of this cowardly dragon, and now they all were praising him. So at once the dog said, that it was just because of some confusion that he wasn't able to do anything. Otherwise, he would have been twice as brave as Custard. But Ink and Blink also said that they would have been 3 times braver than Custard. And to this, our earnest little dragon said that he fully agrees to this, that all of them were more powerful and were braver than him. In the 14th stanza, we are told that everything has gone back to the normal again after the incident of the pirate. Belinda is living once again in peace with her pets in her white mouse, with her little black kitten and her little grey mouse and her little yellow dog and her little wagon and her really truly little pet dragon. And the last stanza says, we are told that Belinda, Ink, Blink, and Mustard are still brave despite knowing that the pirate could have easily killed them all. On the other hand, Custard is still a coward and still longs for a safe cage. Now, to talk of the poetic devices that are used in the poem. Similes are used at various places where the words like, or as are used. This is used to make a comparison between two things. In the first stanza, the dog is compared to mustard, which has a strong and a pungent smell. And the line is, and the little yellow dog was sharp as mustard. Alliteration is used where there's a repetition of the consonant sound. I repeat, the consonant sound and not the consonant itself. The k sound is used, coward, and she called him Custard. Anaphora, which is the repeated use of word at the start of 2 consecutive lines, and the little grey mouse and the little yellow dog. Repetition, use of the word little is used many times in the poem. Refrain is a repetition of a whole sentence and again to make an impact and to remind the readers of something. And a realio trulio pet dragon. Metaphor, again a comparison which is used without the words like or as. Chimney for a nose. The nose is like a chimney. Assonance is the use of vowel sounds. It is a repetition of the vowel sounds. Here, Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of bears. Allusion, where there's a reference to any person or place. The dragon is considered to be Percival, the strong knight. He is actually teased. Onomatopoeia is the use of the sound words to create a dramatic effect. And these words, for example, are giggled, weak, clatter, clank, jangling, mute, etc. Poetic license is a poetic device which is used by the poet usually to change or alter the spellings of a particular word just to match his rhyme scheme. Here, window is written as winda to create the rhyme. Last but not the least, never judge a book by its cover. We should never judge someone without fully getting to know them. When the situation demands it, they are bound to show their true colors, and these may surprise us. Happy reading! I hope you enjoyed the poem. Thank you.